The alarm inside my head woke me before my eyes even opened, and the first thing I felt was pressure crushing my chest like a hand made of ice. I could not breathe. I could not move my arms. All I could hear was a hiss, sharp and constant, filling the space around me. My mind screamed one word before anything else made sense: trapped. Then the glass in front of my face cracked open, and cold air rushed in, and I dropped onto a hard floor, gasping, my whole body shaking like a wire pulled too tight. I did not know where I was. I did not know how long I had been asleep. I only knew that my heart was pounding so hard it hurt, and every instinct in me was screaming to get up, to run, to survive whatever came next. I forced my eyes open. The room around me was strange, curved walls glowing with a soft blue light, rows of tall pods lining every side, most of them dark and silent. My own pod stood open behind me, still leaking mist onto the floor. My legs trembled as I pushed myself up, using the edge of the pod for support, my breath coming out in short, sharp bursts. That was when I heard footsteps. Fast, light, coming closer. A woman turned the corner, holding a thin, glowing device in her hand, her eyes fixed on it, not on me. She had smooth gray skin, tall and slim, with eyes that shifted color like water catching light. She looked like she was walking through her daily routine, expecting nothing unusual. Then she looked up, and she stopped completely. The device fell from her hand and hit the floor with a sharp crack. Her eyes went wide, and her whole body went still, like she had forgotten how to move. "Impossible," she whispered, her voice shaking. "You are alive, human." I opened my mouth to answer, but only a dry, broken sound came out. My throat felt like sandpaper. She flinched at the sound anyway, stepping back half a step, staring at me like I was something that should not exist. "Do you understand what you are?" she said, her voice rising with disbelief. "Your entire species vanished centuries ago. There is nothing left of your kind except old warning signals and locked away files that almost nobody is allowed to open." Centuries. The word hit me harder than the cold air had. I tried to speak again, and this time my voice came out rough, but it came out. "How long," I managed to say, "have I been asleep?" She hesitated, glancing at the pod behind me, then back at my face, like she was trying to convince herself I was real. 600 years, she said quietly. "Give or take a few decades. This ship has been drifting since before my grandmother was born. We only came here to study old wreckage, not to find anything breathing inside it." 600 years. My chest tightened again, but this time, it was not the cold air. It was the weight of every person I had ever known, every place I had ever walked, gone, turned to dust long before I ever opened my eyes again. I gripped the edge of the pod tighter, trying to steady myself before my legs gave out completely. "My name is Daniel," I said, forcing the words out clearly this time. "I need to know what happened. What happened to everyone?" She studied me for a long moment, her sharp eyes softening slightly, like she was deciding whether to trust the situation in front of her. "My name is Nora," she said finally, "and I do not have all the answers you want. Records say your homeworld suffered a massive failure, some kind of energy collapse that swept through your entire system. Every colony, every outpost, gone within days. Nothing your people tried could stop it. After that, no signal, no ship, no survivor was ever found again. Until now." I closed my eyes for a second, trying to steady the storm building inside my chest. Every breath felt heavier than the last, but there was no time to fall apart. Something inside me refused to break, refused to sit still and grieve when there were still questions burning through my mind. "Where are we now?" I asked. "What ship is this? What are you doing out here?" Nora glanced over her shoulder, as if checking that we were still alone, then stepped closer, lowering her voice. "This is a research vessel, called the Horizon Drift. We are surveying old ruins near the edge of a system your people used to control. My crew believes this ship is just another dead relic. If they learn a living human just woke up in front of me, This entire mission changes in ways I cannot predict. Some people would want to study you. Others would want to erase you before word ever spreads. Erase me. The words landed like a punch straight into my chest. My legs, already weak, nearly buckled beneath me, but I held onto the pod and forced myself upright. Why would anyone want to erase me? I asked, my voice sharper now, adrenaline burning through the exhaustion. Nora's eyes darted toward the corridor behind her, listening for something I could not hear yet. Because your species was once feared, she said quietly. Not because you were cruel, but because you were unstoppable. Difficult to defeat, impossible to predict, and always finding a way to survive no matter what stood in front of you. Many governments celebrated when they believed your kind was finally gone. If they learn you are alive, some will see you as a miracle. Others will see you as a threat that needs to disappear quietly. My pulse pounded harder, filling my ears with a rushing sound. I looked down at my own trembling hands, barely recognizing them after 6 centuries of stillness. But somewhere beneath the fear, something else stirred, a stubborn spark that refused to be put out. Then help me stay alive long enough to prove them wrong, I said. Nora studied me for a long moment, her expression unreadable, before she gave a small, sharp nod. There is an escape pod bay 2 levels below us, she said. If my crew finds you before we reach it, they will report you immediately. We need to move now. She grabbed my arm, steadying me as my legs struggled beneath me, and pulled me forward into the corridor. The blue lighting flickered overhead as we moved, our footsteps echoing against metal floors. My body screamed with exhaustion, but my mind stayed locked onto one single goal: survive. We turned a sharp corner, and Nora froze instantly, pressing herself against the wall, pulling me down with her. Voices echoed from further down the hall, low and calm, clearly unaware of what waited nearby. 2 crew members, she whispered. If they see us together, questions will follow immediately. I held my breath, my heart hammering so hard I feared they might hear it. The voices grew louder, then slowly faded as the crew members turned toward another corridor, their footsteps disappearing into silence. Nora exhaled shakily and pulled me forward again, faster this time. We reached a narrow stairwell, metal steps spiraling downward into dim light. My legs shook with every step, but I forced myself to keep moving, gripping the rail tightly. Nora stayed close behind me, glancing over her shoulder every few seconds, checking for anyone following. Almost there, she said. Once we reach the pod bay, I can get you off this ship before anyone realizes what happened here. We reached the bottom of the stairwell, stepping into a wide room filled with small round pods lined along the walls, each one glowing faintly. Nora moved quickly toward the nearest one, tapping commands into a panel beside it, the pod hissing softly as it opened. This will take you to a small moon nearby, she said. There is a hidden research outpost there, run by scientists who study old species without reporting to anyone above them. They will help you. They will not report you. I stepped toward the pod, then paused, turning back to look at her. Why are you helping me? I asked. You do not know me. You have no reason to risk everything for someone you just met. Nora's expression softened, something gentle breaking through her earlier tension. Because 600 years of history told me your kind was gone forever, she said. And here you stand, breathing, fighting, refusing to give up even after everything you lost. That is not something I am willing to erase quietly. That is something worth protecting. Her words settled into my chest, steadying the storm inside me just slightly. I climbed into the pod, gripping the edges as the seat adjusted around me. Thank you, I said quietly. She gave a small, tired smile. Survive, Daniel. Prove them right. Prove your kind was never truly finished. The pod door closed slowly, sealing me inside. Through the small window, I watched Nora step back, her eyes staying locked onto mine until the last possible second. Then the pod shifted beneath me, engines humming to life, and I felt the pull of motion as it launched away from the ship, carrying me toward an unknown moon and an uncertain future. I did not know what waited for me there. I did not know how many people out here still remembered my species with fear rather than curiosity. But one thing burned clearly inside me, stronger than exhaustion, stronger than fear itself. I was still alive, and as long as I kept breathing, humanity was not finished yet.